Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in BigBearFoundation.com, your home for everything. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we have our NFL season review. So make sure you guys do subscribe right here to the YouTube channel. We're on our way to 80 subscribers, and make sure you guys as well go join the Discord and the community. So we have a busy schedule for today and tomorrow. Got a busy schedule. We got the review, which I'm doing now. We got the wild card picks, and I'm gonna do my playoff predictions for this season. I'm gonna do wild card division predictions as well, just in case the matchups, just in case the matchups change, just in case I do get some picks wrong in the playoff predictions video. So it's you never know what you're gonna see out of them. So. When we do the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game, I might do both of them at the same time because it doesn't really make sense to make a pick in just one video. So without further ado, that's for the future. Let's go ahead and dive into it now. All right, so kicking things. All right, so I'm gonna have to run through the tier list. All right, so starting at the top, we have the teams that shocked the hell out of me. Below that, we have the teams that did better than I thought. In the middle, we have the teams that I did as I expected. Bottom from that, you have the teams that did slightly worse than I could imagine. And then we have all the way down here where it says severely underperformed expectations. All right, so good enough. All right, let's go ahead and get it going. All right, so the first team that we're going to be putting on this tier list is the Arizona Cardinals. The performance-wise, I thought they did better than I thought, but if you really think how their season went, I'm gonna say how they did about what I expected. 4 wins. It's all right. 4 wins is about 4 or 5 wins about where I had them this year. Like I said, good credit to this team. This team has competed throughout a majority of the game, so I could say they actually did better than I thought. But I don't. But yeah, it's about what I expected. I expected to have like 5 or something. They got around there. Next up, we got the Falcons. I'm gonna say about what I advertised too. Like I kind of knew the Falcons were gonna be like in the 7-8 win range. It's just when the Falcons they just didn't have enough. They just didn't have enough tools to get past to win a division. So I know a lot of people picking to win the division. So I can see a couple people putting them down here. But for me, the Devs I expect the 7, 8, 9 win range. I'll take it. Next up, we got Baltimore. Baltimore did better than I thought. I won't say shocked the hell out of me because I know the Ravens. I knew they were going to be a good team coming into the season. I knew they were going to win at least double-digit figure games, but it did better than I thought. I didn't think this team was going to finish with the best record in football, and I did not think they were going to take the number 1 seed in the AFC, which was definitely really impressive for them. So I will say, the Ravens definitely did better than I thought. All right, next up we got Buffalo. This one's interesting because you could put this as I expected because they did win double-figure games, but I did. I'm gonna say slightly worse for the Bills just because I thought they're gonna win like 13 games this year. Yeah, they won 11. Yeah, they won a division. So I can't put them as severely underperformed, but I'm gonna put them as slightly worse because I expected them to win a little bit more games than 11. But besides that, the Bills still had a good season. But right now, I think I'm still gonna put them in slightly worse. I just bet to get a tiny bit more from them. Next up, we got the Panthers. The Panthers severely underperformed expectations. I honestly thought this team was going to compete for the division title. Instead, they got knocked out since week 8. Realistically, since week 11. But still, the Panthers were just a national disaster this season. They completely disappointed me. All right, next up, we got the Bears. They've had 7 wins. I think I had them like 5 or 4. I thought the Bears were going to be absolutely horrible this year, so I can say the Bears did better than I thought. I mean, listen, you get 7 wins. You close out your season strong. There's a good sign for next year right there for Chicago. So I thought the Bears did a little bit better than I thought. Next up, we got Cincy. Cincinnati, it's not your fault, but I thought you guys really underperformed my expectations. But it's not your fault because Joey B got injured. You guys were dealing with a whole bunch of injuries, and I completely understand that. But as a standpoint, I thought you guys were going to win your division. I thought you guys were going to make a couple runs in the playoffs. Instead, you guys didn't make the playoffs. And I know you guys still finished above 500, but you guys finished last in your division, so I'm gonna have to say you guys really underperformed my expectations. Next up, we got Cleveland. Cleveland shot the hell out of me. I mean, they really did. I thought the Browns were going to be garbage this year. I thought the Browns were going to be absolutely dreadful. But instead, this team has won 11 games. I only think I have like five or four. Instead, the Browns they just shot me. They shot the hell out of me. This team's a playoff team, and they have a really good defense right now, and this team can go a long way. So the Browns shot the hell out of me. Next up, we got Dallas. I would say about as I advertised. I knew they were going to win at least 11 or 12 games. I mean, it was kind of expected for Dallas. I mean, I kind of knew what they were going to do this year. I knew they were going to be a good team to deal with. I knew they were going to be a hard team. I knew they were going to be a tough team to deal with at home. So I'll give it to them. They did as I expected. Next up, we got Denver. They did a little better than I thought. I didn't think they're gonna. I didn't really think they're gonna get to 8 wins. I wasn't. Was it what if it's 8 or 9 wins? I think they finished 8, but I didn't expect them to get 8 wins. I only expect them to get like 6. But besides that, actually no, I'm gonna put them down here. I think they did about as I expected. Because I believe I had Denver, somewhere around the 7, 8, 9 win range. So I was like kind of like the Falcons. So they did as I expected, I guess. Next up, we got the Lions. Lions did exactly what I expected. Matter of fact, I think I actually got the record right for them. 12-5, and I believe that if we go all the way back to my actual prediction record video, when I did like a lot of, I did a couple months ago, I think I had the Lions at 12-5. They did exactly what I thought. I knew the Lions were going to be this beast, and they were a beast this year. So they literally were right in the middle. Next up, we got the Packers. I think the Packers shot the hell out of me, right? Listen, right? Listen. If you take a look at the Green Bay Packers real quick, they shot the hell out of me. I thought this team was going to be horrible. Another team that I thought was just going to be dreadful this year. A team that I just thought they were going to have no motivation this year, but instead, I know they're just 9-8, but at least they made the playoffs. I had them nowhere near the playoff picture. So the fact they made the playoffs, I definitely got to say that shot the hell out of me. Next up, we have Houston. They shot the hell out of me too. Now I know Houston. I think I did have them above 500, but there's a lot of reasons why you can say Houston. For me, that's it. They shot the hell out of you. One, I did not expect them to make the playoffs. Two, I did not expect them to win the division. And 3, I did not expect their offense or defense to look as good as it did right now. So give props to Houston, man. Houston really excelled this season. I'm so happy for Houston right now. Next up, we have Indy. I'm gonna say it's the Indy. They did better than I thought. I'm not gonna say they shot the hell out of me, but I definitely will say they did better than I thought. They really competed this year at a hard level. It's just the end of the day, it's just unfortunate that they missed the playoffs, and they would have made the playoffs and they would have won last week. But yeah, for the Colts, 8 wins. What do you know? You guys got 9 wins. 9 wins. That was really good for you guys. I think I only had you guys at like 4. So you guys definitely did way better than I thought. You not shot the hell out of me, but because I didn't have you make the playoffs and didn't have you win the division. By the end of the day, you did better than I thought. Next up, we got Jacksonville. They did slightly worse than I thought. I thought this team was going to win the division. I thought this team was going to have like some type of run in the playoffs. But instead, they couldn't even make the playoffs. Now I know they won 9 games. I know they're above 500, but the sad thing about Jacksonville that this team actually looked good heading into what was it, week 11, and then down, and then since then they just had a huge downfall, only winning 1 game since. And listen, we'll get to another team that done that. Next up, we got Kansas City. I'm gonna say slightly worse. I did not predict them to lose 6 games. I thought that was pretty bad sign there from Kansas City. But listen, Kansas City, this is probably one of the most uncharacteristic seasons we ever seen out of the Kansas City Chiefs in the Patrick Mahomes era. I can't believe I'm saying it. Like, I didn't think I'll be saying it right now. Otherwise, yeah, I thought the Chiefs. They won 11 games, sure, but they looked uncharacteristic hell, and they did not look like themselves this year. Next up, we got Vegas. I did as I expected. 8-9 win range. That's what I thought they were gonna finish up with. I knew the Raiders were not going to be the perfect team out there, but I knew at the same time that they could possibly win a couple games. Now they do have a good future headed towards them, but for right now, I thought based off this season, I do think the Raiders did about what I thought 8, 9, 10 range. I mean, no, 7, 8, 9 win range. I got it. Next up, we got the Chargers. They severely underperformed expectations. I honestly thought the Chargers were gonna. I thought they were gonna compete with Kansas City to win that division, but instead they looked horse shit. They looked bad this year. It just never looked good. But I could say it's not their fault, but it kind of is their fault because you guys actually have a good roster, and you guys did absolutely nothing with that roster for about 2 years now. So yeah, definitely definitely an embarrassing season for the Los Angeles Chargers. I will say that very comfortably. Next up, we got the Rams. The Rams shot the hell out of me too. Listen, I only had my boys at 5 or 6 wins. I don't remember what it was, but I only had them by 5 or 6. Instead, they won 10. I'm shocked they won double figures. I'm shocked they made the playoffs. Well, just give credit to the Rams. I thought the Rams shot the hell out of me this year. I'm not being biased. I'm just saying that as a fan standpoint. I like coming into the season, I was down. I was not really that motivated going into the season for the Rams, but now I am really motivated right now for the Rams. I'm glad that they over exceeded my expectations. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for us. Next up, we got Miami. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna say they actually did better than I thought here because they actually had the division lead all the way down to the last week, which actually was pretty impressive. Plus, I think you only had you guys at like 10 wins, 10, 9 wins. I don't remember, but I think you had that, and you guys actually had 11. You guys actually no, I'm gonna throw you down here because 11 wins is basically the same thing as 10. So we could basically say they did about what I expected. All right, next up we got Minnesota. I it's either one of these two. Slightly worse or severely underperformed because they only got like 7 wins. I'm gonna put slightly worse. I won't say severely underperformed because I did have the Vikings. I think got 10 wins and they did only have 7 wins this year. But you take a look at the Vikings once again. It's not their fault. They got banged up. Justin Jefferson out part of the season. Kirk was out for basically for like after like I don't know week 7 it was. And after the season, they made a push, but they just they didn't step on the gas and do that much. So I can't blame the Vikings. Slightly worse, but I can't blame them. Next up, we got the Patriots. Severely underperformed expectations. I thought this team was going to hang around in the division to the very end. And I think I did have the Patriots at 7 wins, but instead the Patriots only won, The Patriots only won 3 games this year. 3 or 4, I think it's one of those 2. So yeah, definitely a disgraceful season for the Patriots. But I don't think we ever seen this. I don't think we ever seen this kind of season in NFL history from the Patriots. Next up, we got the Saints. They did about as I expected. I know I had them around the 7, 8, 9 range. Yeah, the Saints, they're a roller coaster. You know, I hate the Saints. I think their season was all right. I think their season was just mid. But anyway, this season was just a complete roller coaster for them. Next up, we got the Giants. I'm going to say severely underperformed expectations because I really, coming off of last season, I had really high motivation for the Giants. I thought they were going to win like 10 games, but instead they only won 6. Now, that was not really their fault. You know, I think it is their fault because this team did start off pretty bad to start the year, and ever since then they lost track and they couldn't keep. But this team did finish strong at the end of the season, so you can make an argument that this team should be slightly worse. But I'm going to put them in severely underperformed because they look bad to start the season, and yeah, so this team definitely severely underperformed in my opinion. All right, moving on, we got the Jets. I don't know. I did really have some good things for the Jets, but once again, it's not really their fault because Aaron Rodgers is out. You know, can't really do anything with your offense since he's out. I'm still gonna go severely underperform because I did have this team with like 10 wins or something like that, 10, 11 wins, something like that. But once again, it's not really their fault. It's just because they got banged up. Aaron Rodgers got banged up in the first 4 plays of the season, so. I can't really blame them, but at the end of the day, I think I'm going to put them down here. They severely underperformed. All right, next up we got the Eagles. Oh God, Eagles they did slightly worse than I thought. I'm not going to say they severely underperformed because this team still finished 5 games above 500, but this team was 10-1 to start the year, and then they went 5. I mean, they went what was it? 1-6 in the last 7 weeks. I think it was something like that span. Like Eagles, I expect you guys to win like 13, 14 games, but instead you guys only got 11, so that is slightly worse. All right, next up we got the Steel. Yeah.
Yeah, bud.
Right here.
You don't homework?
For the moment. Room's clean. Yeah. All right, next up we got the Steelers. The Steelers, they did better than I thought. I'll give them their credits. Hold up. Anyway, next up we got the Steelers. They did better than I thought. I didn't have the winning double figure games. It was very impressive that the Steelers won 10 games this year. I definitely was not expecting that at all. Anyway, this team has to deal with a lot of stuff into this season, and I like how this team responded off of their how they came back from all these injuries. So give credit to Pittsburgh, man. I'm once again, but some people might actually think I'm a Pittsburgh hater. I'm not a Pittsburgh hater. I kind of support the Steelers, but it's just I just thought they did pretty good this year. I think they did better than I thought. All right, next up we got San Francisco. I think it's about where I expected. I knew they were going to be a beast this year, and that's kind of what they were. But I don't think. But you can make an argument. I mean, this team. What is it? This team won 14 games. I mean, 13 games. I think it is. So I can't say that. They did what I thought. All right, next up we got the Seahawks. I'm gonna say slightly worse than I thought. I honestly thought Seattle was gonna win like 11 or 10 games this year, which once again they were kind of in and out this year, so I can't really say too much about it. But at the end of the day, I thought the Seahawks were. I thought the Seahawks were just fine. I don't think they had a bad season, but they just had a very uncharacteristic season, if you're asking me. All right, next up we got Tampa Bay. Listen, I thought Tampa Bay was going to be horrible this year, and they did finish out with 9 wins. So I'm not gonna say but I knew this team was kind of capable of doing it. So I knew as soon as I posted that video a couple months ago, I knew I was kind of harsh on them. So I'm not gonna say they shot the hell out of me because I knew this team was probably gonna make a couple runs. I knew this team was gonna be better than that, based off me. We looking at that, but at the end of the day, I still think the Bucks did better than I thought. Listen, I didn't have them winning 9 games, and I didn't have them winning the playoffs. So I had them finish the last in the division, and I also had this team not making the playoffs. But what they repeated again. They repeated division. They're back here in the playoffs. So yeah, they did better than I thought. All right, next up we have Tennessee. I think this team did about what I expected. I think this team did struggle the majority of the season, but they did have 6 wins. I think I have like the 5, 6, 7 range. So yeah, so I think the Titans did exactly what I thought. All right, last but not least, we got Washington. Washington, I don't know. I'm gonna say slightly worse, just because I thought Washington was gonna hang around with the division. I think I had them like 7 or 8 wins. I thought Washington was gonna be solid this year, but instead Washington was ass this year. Washington was absolutely horrendous. So at the end of the day, I thought the Commanders would have struggled. So we're gonna say they did slightly worse. All right, and that is my NFL season review. Once again, make sure you guys do like, subscribe. I got to get these playoff predictions and wild card predictions out. So make sure you guys go ahead and stay tuned for those. Make sure you guys do like, subscribe, and this is Big Pierce on UpNation.com. So we'll peace out, and we'll see you in a little bit later.